Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. So I'm here today with just an idea that popped into my head to be inspired to create a piece of ephemera inspired by Indigenous Dreamcatchers. So we're going to play with this. I haven't made one of these in a really long time. So a really cool thing about when I was a kid is that my grandparents, they lived next to an Indigenous reservation. So I got to spend lots of fun time with the kids there and the people there. And I got to hang out in the Friendship Center and learn all sorts of cool Indigenous crafts. So I just want to say I am just making this today as like an inspiration. This is not intended to be an actual Dreamcatcher. Hold on. I need to pop this hole to continue. Yeah, so obviously I just want to put credit where credit is due and let you know that this is a very much traditional Indigenous art form. So this is a punch from Marvi Uchida, and it's a big one. I think this is like, is this a 3-inch hole? I do not know. Oh my goodness. It doesn't have a mark on it. Anyways, you see, it's a big hole. I guess I have a ruler. I could probably just tell you the hole size is, 3-inch. Okay, I was okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm using this piece of scrapbook paper that I just had hanging about, and I need my cutter. Cutting. Pop this up here. Okay. Move this out of the way. And then we need to decide how much I want on either side of this. I want to leave a bit of room, like maybe that. And we don't need that anymore. And I want those to be relatively the same, but we just got to trim that one a little. I think a little bit right there. And then let's just double check our, it doesn't have to be, all right, we are at just about 1 inch. And we're a little too big here. We got to go like a 1/4 inch less maybe. Okay. I think we weren't straight. That might be the issue. Okay, good. Now let's just trim this down a bit. We'll say to here, okay? So we want this to be about the size of like a journal card. So now my plan is to grab my little pokey mat here that I poke holes with. And the reason that I want to poke holes is just kind of like a pre-drilled hole, right? To do something. So I'm going to start on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I think I need an uneven number, like an odd number, as I recall. So I just put 9 holes around here, approximately like 1 inch apart, not quite 1 inch, but roughly. You'll be able to just eyeball this. It doesn't need to be really exact. I'm going to come in a little closer if I can here. Yeah, okay. So now I have here this needle, and this is threaded with an embroidery floss. So I'm just going to take an embroidery floss here, and I'm going to start at the back of this, at the very top, and then I'm going to thread over to, you know what, now that I think about it, I probably shouldn't have pre-did my holes. Okay, you know what? It's okay. You don't have to pre-do your holes. You know what? The reason why is because start with 1 hole, okay? And then you want to have a gap here. See, if I did it to here, it would be up on top of this. So we can fix this later, maybe. I'm not too concerned, okay? So Instead, you want to have a gap here. You see this gap? I'll show you why. It's because you're going to need to be able to thread into that. So just ignore those holes that I created already. I did not do a prototype here, but it's okay. We can just have fun and do this together. Okay, then you're going to come up above your string to bring that string back through to the front, and it's going to create like a knot, like a loose knot there. It doesn't need to be super tight, okay? Then you're going to do the same thing from here. You'll come down here until like you've created another gap. Now this one, actually, I can use the pre-existing hole. Okay. And then you're going to come up through the top again. Always through the top with these. Then again, we'll come across till we have a nice gap. I don't want to go as far as maybe that hole. Well, maybe, actually, that one's fine. I'm going to go in here. And then again, through the top to come back to the front. Up here, we can actually use this hole too. And then you're above it. And then we can come in for the last one. I could go there, but I think I'm just going to go back through here so that I'm back through the original hole. Okay. So the important part with this is you've got to have string long enough that you're going to be able to complete this, okay? So let's see how we do. I'm just going to tie a single knot now that I've finished the end of this first round, okay? And that's going to keep the tautness, the tightness there. So now, same thing, I'm going to come in through the top here. And then through the top here. So see, it's already creating another little section. You see that triangle there? And then through the top here. You give it a little pull. Again, through the top. You give it a little pull. Just keep repeating yourself all the way. You're just going to keep doing this until it starts to get smaller. Now, we're on the second row, right? So now you don't go in this top one, go in this middle one from the top above. Okay. And just give it a little tug. Again, now through this second gap that you created. Little tug. And again through here. And you'll notice as you go and like you just keep kind of going and tugging, it's going to create like a sort of geometric but like naturally unnatural shape. Okay, so then get here and just don't pull so tight that like you mess your paper up too much. I'll probably do one more to finish that round. Okay, we want to get all the way to the center. Just always going to the back of the last row of gaps that you created. All right, so I'm happy, I think, with this amount. So now what I need to do, one sort of central thing that is a part of Indigenous Dreamcatchers is that there is a bead in the middle, and I didn't grab one. So just give me 1 second. I'm not going to pause. Hold on. Okay, so the important thing about your bead is it's got to fit through here. I might not be able to get the needle into this crystal. Let's see if I can get the thread in now. Just gonna try my best here. Hopefully it works. I don't have to select another bead, but we'll see. This is Cindy's no plan, quick idea. Okay, we got it in. Perfect. Okay, so now let's rethread this onto the needle. Okay, so now you've got this there. There's your bead in the center, and now it's not supposed to necessarily be centered, perhaps. So I'm going to go over here now and stitch right over here through kind of the plies of this, right? So one, and then I'm going to create a knot, 1 and 2, okay, and 3, just to kind of have the 3, you know, knots that you want to have when you're sewing anything to keep it like solid, right? Perfect. Now we'll come in here and I will trim that, and then up here I'm going to do sort of the same thing. I'm going to leave a little length, and then I'm just going to come in and tie knot number 2. Hold it close, and then knot number 3, and hold it close. Okay. So now what I'm thinking will make this interesting and unique is to put an interesting pretty paper kind of behind it, and then also obviously back it, and then we have space down here to do, you know, something. So give me 2 seconds. I'm going to grab some paper and things. Okay, so I found some papers, and they're like painty papers and jelly prints on these small kind of half-page cutoffs. And so I'm trying to decide which one I like. I like the color of that behind there. It's not too complicated, but then looking at that, I also think that would be nice because it's like a pattern, but it's not too complex, you know? There's also this solid pink. Oh, I like that too, because it's kind of like, it really helps this to stand up, right? So instead of a pattern, let's go with this. So what I'm going to do now is just go around here with glue stick. And this is just some like kind of ugly scrapbook paper that I didn't love so much. So I thought I could do something nice with it because I like the one side. I think the one side's quite nice. So now we'll glue this down here, because that'll give us a backing, and it will also give us a nice pink background there. Okay, just make sure that's all glued down, and then that really helps that to stand out. You could also leave this hollow if you wanted to, and then just back the rest of the card to kind of thicken it up. But I kind of like the idea of giving it a background. So I'm going to do that, and then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch all the way around this because I just like things when they're stitched. But before I stitch, I want to check how I would feel about using some, I've got these really bright fuchsia dyed feathers that are part of the feather trim, and I thought it could be kind of cute because this is another feature of Indigenous Dreamcatchers, is that usually you will tie some feathers. There's a whole process. Basically, you start making like traditional dream catchers with a metal hoop that you wrap with like leather or silk ribbon, and it's really kind of fun. So I think what I might do is that, just a couple of those there, and that would be kind of pretty. And then maybe I will also stitch around the circle, and that's going to mess up my backing, but I think it's okay. I think this could use a little more strength than just that jelly print paper. So what I'll do, I'll stitch these on, I'll stitch around the circle, and then I'll stitch around there, and then we'll come back and I will keep making this with you. Okay, so I decided to turn this into a tag, and I backed it as I mentioned. I used the other side of that scrapbook paper. I quite like it on there. I think that goes nicely. So we have our two feathers, and I was thinking I would use a verse on here. So the highway curves to the left, but you're turning to the right. The pavement ends here, but you're going 10 miles farther over there. Where you're headed may be a little rough around the edges, but that's what attracted you in the first place. So I thought that would be kind of a nice little verse to put on here, and I'm not even going to be upset if I have to hide some of it. I don't know, maybe not. Or we could put it right on top of the feathers, actually. I think I will back these to strengthen them a little bit because it's on very thin paper. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Okay. Let's get some paper that's a little thicker here. Here's a greeting card. We can use this greeting card because I don't think I'll be using it for anything. So I absolutely recommend you support Indigenous businesses. This is obviously just an inspiration, but if I can recommend an awesome Canadian Indigenous business that I love supporting, I will recommend Beam Paints, B-E-A-M Paints. They are amazing. They are on Manitoulin Island. They are Indigenous owned, and they make the best watercolors, highly pigmented with beautiful natural materials, non-toxic and great for kids, artist quality. Their paint stones are my favorite. They last forever and they're really, really nice. If you see me doing watercolor painting, or you like the colors I use in my watercolor digitals, that's where I get a lot of my paint from. And I really, really love their paints. They have some really nice, like, inspiring colors like Wet Grizzly, which is this lovely grizzly bear brown that has gold, pigment in it. And, oh, there's just so many good colors. They have beautiful metallics, beautiful gouache too, if you prefer gouache. It's really, really nice. Okay. So now that these have been elevated, let's maybe ink them a little bit with... Let's maybe go with a color that might help them stand out. Yellow would be interesting. Salvage patina, no. What would help them to stand up on this maybe? I think yellow might, to be honest. Because it's like a little different than the rest of the color going on there. So let's give it a try and see how that goes. I don't think I have a sponge for the yellow. Let's just use this one. Just got to turn it around here. That's good. Good enough. Just ink these. Like a little rough and fun. I've had 8 million ideas bursting into my head, and I've been writing them all down, and then I thought of this tonight and I was like, why don't I just film this and not write it down? We'll just get it done, share it, and have fun with it, so that I can actually get to my list of my other 8 million ideas that I want to share with you guys. My glue is being very cloggy today. I suspect I need to wash out my cap. That's okay, we'll survive. And I kind of like gluing this right on top, because it's not a lot of feathers, it's just the one, right? So it easily will glue down. I think that Dreamcatchers are one of the most common things that I see people purchase in like reservation gift shops. I remember hanging around when I was a kid at the reservation gift shop, and so many people would buy them. And at the time, it was actually like a lot of like the grandmothers teaching the kids, like in the friendship centers and stuff, like all the Kokums kind of teaching the kids how to make them, and the kids would get to keep their money when they sold them. It was really fun. They would have like I would get to hang out, and they would have a really fun like annual Friendship Center sale, and like the whole community that surrounded the reservation would come to it, and there was like a really nice, like they have an annual powwow. It's actually a really big, really popular reservation, like not popular, but I mean popular in the sense that a lot of non-Indigenous people like go and hang out there, and you know, go to a lot of events there and stuff. They have like a really fun dining hall and a dance hall, and it's really nice. And so, yeah, they have a really vibrant, fun community. And it just takes me back to when I was a kid and I got to learn how to make a Dreamcatcher. And so I thought it might be kind of fun to make a tag with you guys to show you. So again, just letting you know, you don't have to pre-poke the holes. You saw that that didn't really need to happen. Maybe pre-poke the first one so you can go in and tie your knot. And then again, you're going, you know, you're leaving a little gap, right? So in the circle, take your thread and go across, and just keep doing that same thing all the way around. Probably you'll get 5 points. And then at the top, you're going to come in at the back behind it and loop around and go through the gap, then go into the next one through the gap all the way around. And then you're going to get this fun shape, and like you'll get something geometric like this, but it's going to be different every time because it's really based on like the tension, how much you pull. Like obviously I pulled more over here than over there, so that gap got bigger. And that's kind of the fun thing about the Dreamcatcher project, right? And then adding that single bead is that little dream there that's been caught. So I hope you like this little project, and I will talk to you all again very soon. And check my description box down below to find the link to Beam Paints, my absolutely highly recommended Canadian Indigenous art supplier. So we'll talk soon. Bye for now.